are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Tahaad Podcast. I'm Dylan Larry Booting on Twitter. Hit out the latest Auburn athletics news. As go ahead and start prepping yourselves for a potential back-to-back SEC champion season for your Auburn men's basketball team, because a couple of, commitments can be said, were made today on Tuesday as I'm recording this. Of course, Auburn adds in Serbian forward Filip Jovic, the 20-year-old out of international player, 6'9", 12.3 points per game, 4 rebounds last season in 27 games for the KK Mega Basket. But as great of a pickup as that is, Auburn was in need of another big man, probably in need of another five in general. The biggest news, the biggest commitment of the offseason for the Auburn basketball team is, of course, the withdrawal from the NBA draft by one Tahaad Pettiford. Now, of course, Tahaad was probably, at the end of the season, was Auburn's second best player on the court at any given time because of his versatility, because of how just shifty he was, how hot he would get in these games. And he was, of course, one of the big reasons Auburn's able to make so deep a run into the Final Four. Of course, I'm wearing my Final Four quarter zip to celebrate the occasion. Of course, with the other commitments Auburn brought in through the portal and through high school and through JUCO, Auburn is in a perfect scenario to go back-to-back this season and to even go do far greater things than what they were able to accomplish last year. And that was a big question going into this, or leaving last season, going into the next season, is when you're losing so much talent, when you're losing guys like Janai Broome and Chad Baker-Mazara, who transferred to USC, Chaney Johnson, who, don't know if he'll be able to come back or not. The NCAA, I don't think he really, him and Denver Jones, both the same thing. Don't really know if anything's been done or said to the NCAA to try to get another year of eligibility for what they did during their time in JUCO. Of course, that only works if you're Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt, from what I've heard from the NCAA so far. But you bring in a lot of talent that, can do a lot of damage. You start with the freshmen. You got guys like Sebastian Williams-Adams, Caden Magwood, and Simon Walker, who are all versatile scorers at every level and all have a lot of size. Sebastian Williams-Adams is 6'8", being at Auburn's top-rated high schooler coming up to the Plains. JUCO-wise, Abdul Bashir, of course, one of the top players, the top player out of JUCO coming out of last year. Just another versatile 2-3 guy, shooting forward, if you will, who can score from any level on the court. Then you bring in Mika Operum, 7-footer out of Butler Community College. Of course, he probably not a guy you want to start right away, but he could work into that role if he catches the game early, going up that next level. And of course, you bring in those transfers: Elijah Freeman, Kevin Overton, Keyshawn Murphy, probably going to be Auburn's or being one of Auburn's targets. Like Keyshawn Hall is the other one. I get the Keyshawn's confused because Auburn picked up 2 basically in a row. And Keyshawn Hall from UCF probably going to be Auburn's second option scoring wise with the return of Tahaad Pettiford. And of course, if you can figure out a way to keep rebounding the way you did last year, I think it bodes so well for Auburn going forward. Of course, if you have a 7-footer, if Amico steps out on the court right away during practice and he just absolutely lights it up, then, dude, there's not a weakness with this team. There's not a weakness on this team. No, there's nothing is wrong with this roster. And I still think Auburn is looking to find another big. I would assume another 5 would be Auburn's last little thing they need. Of course, PJ Haggerty was going to be an Auburn target if Tahaad Pettiford did not return. Of course, he already had committed to Kansas State or Memphis, one of the two. I can't remember exactly where he went. Once Tahaad came back, I forgot everybody who was in the portal ever. But, of course, when PJ Haggerty committed, it kind of, it looked like writing was on the wall already that Tahaad Pettiford would be returning to the Plains. So, yeah, that's huge news going forward, of course, with BP getting his guy back into Tahaad, it's going to be a great season for Auburn. It's hard to imagine that Auburn is unable to recreate the magic that they had last year by getting Tahaad Pettiford back, because he played so well. His combine was so good, and of course he was getting a lot of interest from teams everywhere. He was going to get drafted, and of course once you get drafted past the first 10 picks of the NBA draft, of course you're on the G League team for who knows how long. And of course, to Tahaad Pettiford, he didn't want to do that. It was, he's good enough to be in that top 10 category. He's good enough to be a lottery pick. And I think him and his agency kind of understood that, his team, whatever it's called, understood that. And, a sophomore year, doing what he did last year and getting more minutes, getting more opportunities, being the number one guy on an Auburn basketball team, I think sets up Tahaad Pettiford to be a lottery pick going into the next season, because of how good and dominant and versatile and shifty and aggressive and just overall just how freaking good Tahaad Pettiford is. It's hard to imagine a season where with Tahaad in charge, where Auburn is not a threat at the highest level. Of course, Auburn was only a few points away from going to the national championship this past season. Of course, I think Florida pretty much owned that game. And of course, you got to be worrisome. The SEC, everyone gets better every single year. Everyone gets better. It is how the SEC goes in every single sport. But when Auburn's able to get better than they did last year, and I can't really say they got better until I watch them all on the court, but if Auburn can continue to play at the level they did, I mean, dude, that's another great season. Even if you're not the SEC regular season champion, I think it's still a team that can win the tournament. It's still a team I think can make a deep run. And it kind of pushes aside what we were saying last year, where, you're putting all your chips onto this team. If this team can't do it because of all the veterans that were there, all the, the jokes were there, the all old guys on the team, they only had like 1 year of eligibility left on every single one of them. If Auburn was able to win that year, then it probably was never going to happen. And what they did was they completely rejuvenated a roster that lost a lot of talent, and they put more talent onto it. I think that overall, I mean, I don't want to say there's better shooting, but I mean, there's consistent shooting across the board. You're getting a every level scorer out of a bunch of guys. Keyshawn Hall and Abdul Bashir are going to have great seasons with Auburn going into the season. And again, it's such a there is not a bad pickup for Auburn going from this past offseason. Transfer portal, high school, not a bad pickup at all from Auburn whatsoever. And of course, bringing in Philip Jovic, another just multi-level scorer, not really multi-level, inside scorer. Auburn really needed some height, and they got height. So again, I think if Auburn was able to pull in like another 6'10" plus guy, I think that really rounds out your roster. I think it finishes out. I don't really know if the transfer portal is still going on or not. Of course, I don't really understand the transfer portal rules anymore. There's no telling when it really stops. But let me just do in the comment section below. Do you think Auburn is a national championship contender? Well, I guess they are. Do you think Auburn is a national championship front runner with Tahaad Pettiford coming back? Let me just in the comment section below. We're going to round the show right after this break, talking about Auburn golf and their season coming to an end, and Auburn baseball getting ready for the NCAA regionals. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Are you tired of having to rummage through just clothes after clothes after clothes, looking for something to wear? Are you tired of your friends making fun of you for your terrible fashion sense? Well, do we have the shirt for you? Go to thewarreport.com, get your laptop out and do it right now. Go to the shop and get your very own Feelin' Loopy t-shirt as well as your college loop hat, and you can get both of them for only $25 each. Plus shipping and handling, of course. But with that, now back to your regular scheduled program. Of course, you find that merch on thewarreport.com. Go to the shop, second page. You'll find the college loop hat as well as the Feelin' Loopy t-shirt. Most kind of obstacle in your entire life. Of course, when you're repping the merch, don't forget to use hashtag Feelin' Loopy. That's feeling without the G. Let us know you're loving and supporting the channel as well. And of course, don't forget the merch is great. I love it. It's the most comfortable thing you're ever going to wear in your entire life. But of course, that's not the best way to support the channel. The best way you support the channel is by liking the video, commenting, letting us know if you think Auburn is the NCAA championship front runner with Tahaad Pettiford back, and of course by subscribing to the YouTube channel and getting us to 1,000 subscribers very, very soon. So thank you all again that are subscribed and have liked the video and have commented, letting us know. And now, as we continue on with the show, rounding out Auburn men's golf season ends in the Elite Eight, not able to make it past Virginia, losing 3-2. Of course, Coach Clenard mentioned, Caden Pope and Jackson Coyven had great matches, won, and then the last three guys just did not play to their skill level, got outplayed. And it happens. It sucks. But again, just two back-to-back great seasons out of Auburn golf. And, I mean, a lot of these players are still very young. He mentioned even next year, there will not be you're losing a senior this year, but next year you don't got a single senior. And Jackson Coyven being the best golfer in the world right now, I mean, he's a sophomore. He got 2 more years to win another championship at Auburn. He could win even more because I've read somewhere else Auburn won 5 championships this year in golf. But yeah, big ups to golf. Great season, great 2 seasons at that. And again, we got gonna be even better next year, according to Coach Clenard. So yeah, huge shout out to Auburn golf, making Auburn proud. Auburn baseball. Also making Auburn proud, hosting a regional, the number 6 overall seed in the NCAA regional field, and we'll be hosting this weekend, starting on Friday. Auburn will take on Central Connecticut. I said Auburn's the 6th seed. Auburn's the number 4 overall seed. Sorry about that, everybody. Auburn will take on Central Connecticut State in the first game of the NCAA regionals that they're hosting at beautiful Plainsman Park at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. The game will be streamed on ESPN+. Of course, following that game, or I guess probably before that game, you'll see NC State versus Stetson, number 2 seed in this Auburn regional. NC State taking on the 3 Stetson. And then, of course, winner of that game will play the winner of Auburn Connecticut State. And then whoever wins that game plays whoever, and then basically, you all know how this works. First the 2 losses gets kicked out. Auburn, of course, been to a region, hosted a regional 3 of the last 4 years. Last year, last time Auburn hosted a regional, I think left bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. I think they lost that regional, if I'm not mistaken. But this team, they're hot. They are hot. Of course, the SEC tournament did not go as well as planned, but I still think they did enough in the regular season to prove that they can make it to Omaha. So huge shout out to Auburn baseball, continue on their season. I also want to give a massive shout out to Bree Ellis, of course, one of the first interviewees right here on the College Loop podcast, was able to win softball player of the year. Bree Ellis was able to win that. Huge shout out to the Ellis family. Could not think of a more deserving player of that award. She lit it up for Arkansas. Sadly, their season ended a little too soon, but regardless, it's not a championship Arkansas gets a hold. So, I mean, that's fine. But Bree Ellis, I mean, best player in the country. We knew this. We've known this for a while. It just had to take her going to Arkansas to get the recognition she greatly deserved. So massive shout out to Bree Ellis for winning softball player of the year. Just overall, just legend. Build the statue, Arkansas. I don't know if Auburn's can do it, but build the statue for her. Name the field at Bree Ellis Park, Bree Ellis Field. Just think she's earned it. With that being said, thank you everybody for watching Stuff Up the College League podcast. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on the video. Let me know, is Auburn the front runner for the national championship in basketball with the return of Tahaad Pettiford? Of course, if we check out social media platforms, literally every single one of them, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the works, all of the College Loop. Check us out on the audio version of the show as well on Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Of course, you can find me on Twitter at your boy the Tank, at YABOY the Tank. Same thing on TikTok at your boy the Tank. And then on Instagram, it's just my name, Dylan Larck. Find me on there too. Follow me. Stay tuned to the next stop of the College Loop podcast. And as always, War Eagle.